Hello, everyone, and welcome to Imaging Spectrum's webinar on Epson S-Series Eco-Solvent printers. We're going to get started and maybe wait for some more people to come in as they come along. But anyways, we're going to get started on this. Basically, this is a overview of the solvent printers that Epson offers and some of their new models maybe you might not be aware of. And the basis behind this is just trying to get a complete overview of what these printers can do, complete overview of what solvent printers could do. Maybe some of y'all might not know, what the capabilities of solvent printers can do, opposed to like a photo printer or an aqueous printer. And, just kind of go over all the details there, and then just kind of show the really cool features on these printers. Especially with the bulk system printers that Epson has out now, the print and cut options, which is somewhat new in the line of the Epson S-Series, that gives you kind of a different perspective on what solvent can do, and then combine so you can do a lot more printing. And so my name is Matt McCormick. I'm the inkjet manager for Imaging Spectrum. I have Zach Jones here, who is my head tech guy. He's going to be leading. Hey, he's going to be leading a majority of this webinar and kind of going over the details, and I'm going to be chiming in with some things. And we also have our special guest, Morgan Lynn, who is our Epson rep here, just to make sure that we're saying the right things and correct us when we don't, and he can chime in with some things on the Epson perspective, if we're not I don't know, maybe touching on something that needs to be said. Hello, Morgan.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. No, I'm excited. A lot of great things, and it's even more impressive when you see Imaging Spectrum's showroom there in Plano, and some of the solvent and their solution center that they have. So, but right. I'm excited about today's webinar.
Yeah, and yeah, like you said, we've got a showroom here that has all these printers that you can come and definitely see in action. And we can run cost analysis, run something on specific media. If you're looking at stickers, decals, or signage, or car wraps, or whatever it might be, even wall graphics to window graphics, floor graphics, which are pretty huge in the solvent business right now with what's going on with COVID out there. There's a lot of signage that needs to be done on the outside of restaurants, to businesses, to on the floors. A lot of things that are being done that solvent can do. But anyways, with that, we are going to take questions at the end, and definitely are here to answer all those for you as best we can. So hope you enjoy it, and Zach, take it away.
Perfect. Awesome, guys. Well, like Matt said, thank you guys so much for joining us here. As an Epson Solutions Center, we're definitely, have the privilege of being able to, use some of the latest and greatest technology that Epson has to offer. So I think there's some pretty exciting things, especially on this S-Series line. And when we get into the print and cut, I think there's going to be some things that kind of get the ideas flowing there. So let's just jump in and kind of go over some things. So first off, what I want to kind of talk about is what we're going to focusing on here today, which is the overview of the S-Series. And kind of like as Matt said earlier, a lot of this will be just a general overview, kind of let you guys know what's out there. And of course, if you ever have any more hard-hitting questions or want to dive a little bit deeper into either the technology or the software behind it, then that's what we're here for. So give us a call and we can have some one-on-one conversations with that as well. But I wanted to kind of start off with this because I think this is an awesome unit that I know a lot of people are excited for in this world. And so this is their 8600L, which is Epson's bulk system that you can see here. So hopefully on that right side, you can tell kind of a whole new ink system here. And the 1500 milliliter bags are just awesome. You have a long-term cost savings that I know a lot of the big production shops are looking forward to. And of course, we're going to get into some more of the nitty-gritty stuff later, but Pantone match, metallic silvers, white, a lot of exciting things in this particular unit. So let's just kind of jump in at first for use cases. I know this might not be new for some of you, but if this is maybe a new avenue for you guys, I just want to kind of give you an overview of kind of what's out there. Very popular, obviously, vinyl, with a print and cut, and we're going to actually show you guys some of the cool videos. We have the Graphtec in action just to show you guys how the print and cut solution can work there. Banner production, we're seeing a lot of wraps, as Matt mentioned. While the floor is especially popular, keep your 6 feet and, maintain distance. It's every single place you walk into has it now. So, and then some that people aren't as aware of, high-end canvas printing, actually. Epson actually makes their own GS canvas. They have their own poster production as well. So, don't think you're limited. There really is an incredible range of materials that we can put through this machine. And I'll tell you, with the Epson Printhead technology, we're always getting that utmost quality. So, I've even seen fine artists be very impressed with the overall quality here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's very important there that you mentioned that, because a lot of people think solvent's just for signage, and it is primarily, but yeah, you can do photo printing, you can do posters, you can do canvas. So it's a very diverse type of printer, and as we maybe touch on later, with some of the price points coming down pretty low on these solvent printers, especially like on the S-40, they get close to some of the photo aqueous printers that are out there. And then you can run your prints even at a more cost-efficient level.
Absolutely. And, since we're on that subject of kind of production and efficiency here, I do want to point out one thing with the 6600 system, which is very cool. So again, they do have it in a bulk, and they also have it in the cartridge system. But if you can see here, they have an included additional dryer. And what they do is they have 2 sets of print heads in there. So a CMYK, so 2 print heads, each running that CMYK gamut. And that way we were able to get that 550, speed, square feet an hour. So we can knock out some serious jobs, with some of these units as well.
Yeah, and I always joke, that looks like a robot out of Star Wars. This is kind of there on the side there. But it's twice as much ink as a regular solvent printer, and saves you, I think about, it's about 5 or 6 cents a milliliters, which can really add up over time on your cost.
Definitely. And I do want to show you guys this one. This is kind of what we call the entry-level model for the S-Series, which is the 4600, which is the cartridge-based system. Again, you can get incredible results with this. Normally, if you're just doing basic signage, that's fine. Now, when we start to deal with some of the major corporations, such as Coca-Cola, Home Depot, something of that nature, that's when we start to jump up into the S-80, when we need to hit that specific Pantone match. But we'll go over some of that stuff later. So a lot of options out there to get into the solvent world.
The amazing thing about the S-40, even though it's CMYK, just 4 colors, it does really reach a broad area of color, and so more than most of the competing solvent printers out there, like a Muto or Momake. So some of those printers add a light magenta or light cyan into the mix, while the S-40 can reach that in an equal basis just off CMYK alone.
Absolutely. Well, and 2, I'm sure you guys know the fast signs, and this is one of their go-tos. So I can guarantee a lot of the signage you guys are seeing out there, especially the stuff that maybe stands out a little bit more, likely done with one of these Epson units here. So let's go ahead, and I know we kind of briefly talked about it, but I just want to kind of go over the lineup really quick here. So we saw the S-40, the 60, and the 80. And remember, all these, the 60 and the 80 come in both bulk and cartridge systems. Now, what I have here is the S-60 print and cut bundle. So what it is, it's a separate printer, and the Graphtec, which is the new Graphtec, actually, the FC9000 there, incorporated some cool new features, things such as the barcode reader. I know a lot of people were asking about a little bit more of a robust build overall in the cut. And I know, just to bring up some competitors out there, I know some people say, well, I would love to have the print and cut all in one solution. And I'll tell you the main reasoning behind this is production environments, right? So unfortunately, with these print and cut units all in ones, if you're printing, you can't cut, and if you're cut, you can't print. So what we have set up here is really for a production environment. So as I have my first print done, I can have that on my Graphtec while my next print is coming off of that printer. So it really just kind of keeps everything, I'm going to call it a well-oiled machine, just kind of keeps production running quickly.
Yeah, there. Another thing to point out, if your cutter goes down on that,
good point.
Like say like a Roland Versacam or something, your printer's down.
Exactly.
So, on this case, if your cutter goes down, some reason needs some help, you can still print stuff and find a way to find a way to do the jobs. But anyways.
Oh, and on that subject too, one of the cool things about these is they have the take-up reels and very robust builds. So if you want the whole unattended printing, where you might start something in the day, have it go in that take-up reel, and at the end of the day, throw it on the plotter. That's also a very viable option. So for production-heavy places, the 6600 is a great option just because of the speed, and you're still getting that CMYK gamut. So yes, you might lose a little bit out of the Pantone match, but for a lot of the decals and things like that, it's a worthy investment there.
And that S60 is definitely one that Fast Signs uses. I mean, when they're doing these banner productions and need, and people need it that day, that speed with that doubling up that CMYK and just that heater on there to be able to get things fast and quick, just makes it a really highly productive printer at I think about 15,550 square foot an hour, something on that. One of the fastest ones in the class.
And on that note too, we're going to talk a little bit more about this later, but Matt mentioned the heating elements there with the dryer on this. So the off gas time has been significantly reduced. So same day lamination is absolutely on the table with these machines as well. So. Now, what I love to talk about is Epson, so we got to talk about two things, the ink set and the print head, of course. And, the ink set, as usual, just unbelievable. So what I have here on the right side is the S80. So as you can see here, 98.2% Pantone match. Pretty incredible, all things considering. This is all solvent-based. So what you can see is we have our spot colors here with our oranges and reds. And I'll tell you, those reds, especially if you're dealing with maybe some of the car wraps and trying to hit those certain matches, it is just, it's a huge, huge help. So the chrome, it's called the Ultra Chrome GS3 set. That's the name of the ink. Eco-Solvent, which for those of you who aren't familiar, kind of like a lighter solvent, a safer solvent there. So, if as far as the ventilation goes from the old solvent days, not as nearly as big of a concern. It might have a little bit of smell there, but nothing that we can't manage. And the reason I bring that up is because it has been Green Guard Gold certified, which means it's been tested for tons of chemicals, more than I can even name. And so it's been certified safe as far as all that. So if you're breathing it in that environment, no worries about any kind of health issues or anything on that regards too.
Exactly. So this is Morgan. This is put it into schools, hospitals, those type of environments.
Absolutely. And, and I will say, we've noticed Epson goes the extra mile when it comes to their certifications, and that's throughout pretty much all their products there. They really seem to go above and beyond with their testing. So a great thing, and Morgan, that's a great thing to point out too, if you are in a school or maybe in an environment with, children or something that you want to keep safe, then this is absolutely a viable option. The cartridge in the bulk system, and I'll show you guys here this too. So here's the bulk cartridges. As you can see, here's the cartridge system, and then here's the bulk. So with these, still chip, so you put these into a tray, you slip that tray in, and that's kind of where it's, so really simple, no matter what configuration you go with, it's a very easy operation. And of course, I have to mention one thing that I love, the metallic silver and the white option, which is really cool. Definitely something to kind of help you stand out from the crowd. White's really cool, and we actually had a request the other day for printing on the black material. So what we can do with that is essentially lay down an underbase of white and put the color on top of it. So even if we're on a dark media like that, we can still get that very intense pop that we all want at the end of the day there. And of course, as I mentioned too, same day lamination, which is a huge thing. If you're wrapping cars, or you know how some of these customers might want something pretty much that next minute. So it's an easy thing to get taken care of there. Now, of course, Epson, so I do want to talk about their Printhead technology as well. So you can see this is a Precision Core TFP, thin film piezo printhead. It has the Epson Precision Dot technology, so we can get the utmost, just very, very fine detail, whether it be fine text or maybe a decal or something. You can see here 1440 by 1440 DPI. So a really, honestly, a resolution that is probably way overkill for most signage. Again, it's not as, we're not bringing our magnifying glass out and getting really close to it. A lot of it is distance. So especially with banner production, we can always decrease, save ourselves on speed, time, and money there as well. Like I mentioned earlier, over up to 550 square feet per hour with the S60 there, which is just an incredibly fast print speed. I do like to mention this. So I know maintenance is a thing that a lot of people, I think it might kind of be kind of a trigger word sometimes, if you will. So what I do want to show you guys is what they have included is fabric wiper, and hopefully you can kind of see it right down there. So here it is up close. The reason I bring it up is because a lot of the maintenance is self-contained. So what what it's going to do is when the print head reseats, this fabric wipe will actually clean that print head off for us. So that's kind of our first line of defense to take care of that. It'll do its own cleaning cycles. Now, occasionally I'll, at least maybe about once a month, every 2 weeks or so, I will do a manual head cleaning. Very simple. As you can see, it's very easy to access. This just comes right up. I can clean these components here, and then on the left side of the printer, when the print head actually shifts from the right to the left, I can access that and have, I can physically clean the print head myself as well. And again, that just keeps the longevity going. You know, your good old nozzle checks, the standards there, keep that going. And it's really a very simple unit to maintain compared to some of the other solvent units that have been out there.
Exactly. And I mean, depending upon usage, of course, Zach,
Of course.
Manual maintenance has been reduced to once per month. I mean,
yeah.
that's a huge time relief on a
Oh,
lot of these shops who some are actually doing it every few days, every week. And that's a big time constraint for a lot of shops that are running their solvent machines.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you know, honestly, and I can vouch for it, guys. You know, having these machines here, I mean, goodness, my maintenance is probably about that, Morgan, probably about once a month. You know, it's maybe depending on some of the volume, maybe it's every 2-3 weeks, but it's very simple. It takes me probably, I'm going to say 5 minutes, and that's, you know, just hop in the morning, knock it out, and then you're ready to go for the rest of the month there. So I do definitely very happy with the maintenance side of things on these. Now, I do want to talk about, I know we're kind of jumping here from the print head. I think, you know, hopefully you guys got the kind of idea behind that. Obviously, Epson pretty much excels in the printhead technology, so I think everyone's pretty aware of that side of things. Now, I do want to talk about media, and so this is just going to be kind of a quick overview, and then I'm actually going to jump into the Epson Edge dashboard, as well as the Onyx RIP software that these solvent units will come with. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Epson Edge dashboard. It is an awesome tool, and it's been just very helpful, you know, especially for people who are kind of new or getting into it. A lot of the most popular medias, and I mean a lot, are already pre-profiled for you. And everything's been taken care of. And I bring up these EMX profiles because they're a little bit more than just your average color profile. Really what they are full-on print settings. So we're going to adjust the platen gap. We're going to adjust the heating elements. We're going to make sure everything has been set properly. So all those parameters are already taken care of for us for the most part. So I'll show you that a little bit here in a second, but I also want to mention some of the media options with the take-up reel as well. We kind of talked about it previously, but again, unattended printing. So if I need to start something in the morning, knock out, you know, a couple 100 feet, whatever it might be, that's very, very achievable. It does have an auto media adjust, which I like to mention just because if we are doing, you know, maybe a third party, maybe some kind of random media out there, we can have the printer kind of align itself and adjust itself for those particular media types. And of course, there's always the Onyx RIP software, which for those of you unfamiliar with that RIP software, very, very powerful piece of software there. Now, depending on the units you get will depend on the version of Onyx, whether it be Gamma Print, which is kind of their entry level, all the way up to Thrive on their print and cuts, which is kind of like their top tier. So if we need to start doing some color profiling, you know, give us a shout on that, and we're more than happy to help on those sides of things.
And the Thrive is also in the bulk system as well. And most of the difference having that Thrive in there is to be able to do ICC custom profiles. It's got more job editing options at your hand. What else? There's just a lot more tools in there than maybe the Gamma Print will offer. The Gamma Print will have a cut server. So you can, you know, if you are into print and cut, it will work, you know, with your plotter. But the Thrive just, you know, Thrive also you'll be able to work with multiple other, you know, types of units. If you got two printers, or maybe it's, you know, 2 or 3 printers you're trying to work with the Thrive, it opens up to work with more stations there and more units. And our going on the media, you know, our top one is Avery Dennison, and we sell a lot of that with the card wraps and banners and in-store POP stuff. And Ultraflex is our main banner, one of the top banner solvent providers out there. That we have a lot of different uses for that, including the floor graphics, the wall graphics that are real popular right now, and even like window cleans. So yeah, basically, you know, if you get into solvent or you need a solution for whatever you're trying to do, just call us and we'll find it for you for sure.
Absolutely. And I threw Epson on the bottom here as well because as I mentioned before, they do have some great offerings, especially with their canvas and poster production. And we can always, we can find the right solution for you and, find something that fits with your budget as well there. So, and last, I have to mention the Epson Rewards, which come with the S-Series. Very cool program. It's kind of one of those, the higher the volume you get, the more that you get with the kickback there. So if you're using Epson Media, Epson Inks, basically it's a scratch off that we take care of. And, when we set these machines up, we'll get this account set up for you as well. So that way you can enter these, get points, and those points can be redeemed long-term for, reduction in the warranties or maybe a trade-in for a new system or something like that. So, Epson does really reward you for using their genuine consumables, which is an awesome thing in my opinion. So. Now, I figure probably enough of us talk, and let's see some stuff in action here. So I have a few videos I want to kind of show you guys. First, what I want to start with is this Epson Edge dashboard in Onyx. So let's go ahead and get that up and running, and here we go.
One thing I definitely want to focus on is the Epson Edge dashboard, which will be installed with the drivers as well. So the nice thing about this is it allows us to actually control the parameters of the printer through our software as well. This is actually a browser-based solution here. So what you see is we have our heating temperatures, our media settings, width. Now here's the really exciting thing, is under the media settings, under this cloud option, we actually have tons of vendors, majority of the top players out there already pre-profiled for us. So what I'll do in this case is select the Avery Dennison, assuming we didn't already have our profile downloaded. We can search for any of the Avery Dennison profiles that have already been created. And from here, we're going to go ahead and select our MPI 1105. Now, I do already have my acquisition complete, so if it said not acquired, all I would have to do is hit the download button here. It'll finish, and then when we close it, it'll actually show up in our local media library section here. Now, the really cool thing about this is without having to sit there and profile everything ourselves, we can immediately be ready to print in a moment's notice.
Now, I'm going to pause it here for a second. So hopefully you guys could see how easy it was to download those profiles. And what we're going to go into next here is the Onyx software. So what you saw there was the Epson Edge. So after we have that profile downloaded, it's going to automatically update into our Onyx software, which you can see here. And so let me just kind of continue this.
So here we are in Onyx. It's a fairly simple program to use. It's one of those pieces of software that can be as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. So for today, we're going to focus on the simplicity. So what I'm going to do is open a file. Today we're going to grab one of these sticker files, which is actually a print and cut. So this one is particularly a PDF, and what it actually has in there are spot colors that have been defined in Illustrator. Very easy to do, but that way you have your file prepped for when you bring it into Onyx. As you can see, it's ripping, so we can see our processing up here. What it's going to do is analyze it for any colors or any cut marks. So from there you can see it's waiting to print. I already have our job ready to roll here, so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and hit the print now, and we're ready for action. So now with our information saved properly in Onyx, we will print now, and that'll send that information straight to the printer. Now one of the cool things is since this does have a CutServer built into it, what it will do is actually put registration marks and arrows to denote where and how to put the media into the Graphtec cutter. So we'll let the printer do its thing. I'm actually going to skip the warm-up phase in this regard. Basically what the warm-up is doing is getting the platens heated up, so that way when you start production, you can just keep running and gunning.
All right, guys. So I just want to kind of at least to see the software side of things and the printer in action. We'll actually jump back to a final print here in a second and jump into the CutServer side of things. So really, the main reason I want to show you guys this is everything kind of talks to each other here. So the profiles in the printer, I have it downloaded from the Edge dashboard, and I have it connected to my Onyx. So again, once these parameters are set up, really everything is just one fully functioning unit here. And I'll show you the cool feature with the CutServer that's built into Onyx as well here. Give me one second.
From Onyx, after you finish your print, it will actually immediately upload to the CutServer, which I will open here. So now any information we send will actually show up in our CutServer. From here, we can denote what we want. Perforated cuts, through cuts, kiss cuts. So you can see I already have mine labeled. So we'll do a perf cut and a kiss cut. And that's actually the information that will be sent directly to the Graphtec cutter there. One thing to mention on this print is that we are at an 8 pass. So dependent on the graphic or the image, you can adjust between a low resolution 2-pass mode all the way up to 16 passes. Now, for majority of graphics and logos, you can probably get away with a 4, 6, or 8. Now, if you're doing any kind of fine art or if you have any kind of high-end graphics with a lot of gradients, then that could be a good reason to jump up to the 12 or 16 passes as well. Now that our print is complete, we will focus on the Graphtec. What I will do is make sure that the arrows are facing us. I will release my pressure rollers. Now what I like to do is I will take my 2 marks, my registration marks, and I will line them up so that they're inside of the rollers and so that they are even, and I can feel a little bit of an indentation in between them, so that's how I know I'm in a good spot there. Click there. We'll go ahead and lock those pressure rollers. We'll let the machine go ahead and detect the size and the width of the media, and from there what we'll do is we'll go back to our Onyx software and we'll send the information directly to the cutter. Perfect, ready to go. Within CutServer, we'll go ahead and select the cut now. I'm going to do a perforated and a kiss cut, so we'll click that, and that information will be sent directly to our Graphtec.
So right now you can see it's actually reading those registration marks that we put during the printer. And so we can actually have it where it's segmented, so as it goes down, especially for longer stretches of media, it'll make sure everything stays aligned for us properly there.
And I want to point out, I mean, this is the 8600 model. The 9000 would have that barcode reader, which makes this a quicker process. Is that right, Zach?
Absolutely. So, and you make a good point there too. So, speed should be fairly similar. Now, with the barcode, the cool thing is that if I have, let's just say I have maybe 10 different jobs lined up, I can have one job after the next, and what it'll do is it'll read that barcode and just kind of pick up and say, okay, now I know we're on to job 2. After job 2 is done, scan that next barcode and say, okay, job 3, we're ready. So really great for production environments. And hopefully you guys can see here, and this is a very fast,
and as simple as that,
plotter.
We will go ahead and take our weeding tool, grab our corner, and our decals are ready for removal and application.
All right, guys. Well, hopefully you saw how simple it really is. And again, we're really letting the software, kind of talk to each other here to make sure that everybody kind of runs smoothly.
Yeah, and that's a small example. I mean, sometimes you have bigger runs. You have like thousands of stickers to do, and so it can definitely handle that amount of quantity. And the Graphtec 9000 series has a better media rolling system that will be able to do that for you. So that's another improvement on there.
Oh yeah, and you bring up a good point, Matt. And like Matt said, that was just a small example. So technically, that was really just a sheet. Now, let's just say, like we were talking about before with the take-up reel, if I wanted to, maybe I have a 100 or 200 foot job, I can put that on the take-up reel, put that reel on the back of the Graphtec, and then I can run through that entire 100+ feet of material again. So like Matt said, it can definitely be a huge help for the high production environments. And the 9000 made some great improvements.
Right. And really, yeah, sticker decals, but also labels, for product labels, food labels, there's people doing, customized stuff for that or making their own product there. And jumping into like the S80 printer that prints white, I mean, that can kind of come and play there if you need to print white on some label making. That makes that printer a little bit more useful in like a print and cut fashion. If you have a plotter that kind of would need to print white on labels.
And white's another cool thing. It's a huge help for if you're dealing with like the clear media or like the black media or something maybe dark, or maybe you're dealing with like a red vinyl that you need to have some white on top of as well. And the nice thing about that is that's all basically a spot color that we can set up within the Onyx software. So if you have any more questions on that, we can absolutely help you out and get that set up for you properly. The metallic silver is the same situation. Now, I will mention, since we're talking about those, let's go ahead and go back and let's look at these printers for 1 second. So with the metallic silver on these S80s, you have an option. So you can have a metallic silver, a white, or a cleaning cartridge in that same slot. So unfortunately, you can't do metallic and white, but basically you kind of pick what you need. And if you don't need white, you can leave the cleaning cartridge in there and have it prepped for any time that maybe a client does come through that door and say, hey, I do need that metallic silver or white. And you can always switch those in and out as well. You just drain the lines, freshen it with the new ink, and then go to town there. So as far as media load goes, I do have one more quick thing just to show you guys here. I'm not going to take up too much time with this video, but I just want to kind of show you the process.
Just want to introduce
kind of
the
getting
media
it
printer here.
all prepped here.
So with the front lifted
It
up,
is a backload,
load our media.
you can see here.
I'm using the
2
Avery
inch and 3
Dennison
inch
1105 today. Some really good cast vinyl, especially for car wraps and the like. So I'm going to do is make sure that this is secured. I'm actually going to push this blue plate until it's flush with the black portion here. And since our pressure rollers are unlocked, I will be able to actually slide this media directly into it. Once you can tell it's partially the way through, we're actually going to go ahead and lock the lever down. This will hold those pressure rollers and hold the media in place. And from here, we're just going to use these media guides to make sure nothing moves.
And guys, so while this is playing, right after this, we're going to do some Q&A. So if you have some questions, get those ready, and we'll start answering
now with
those
our
as they
media
pop
loaded,
up.
we will focus on the media settings in the printer.
Any questions, guys?
Well, and to kind of emphasize as well on that, we do have these printers here in our solution center here in Plano, Texas. If you're in the area and are always thinking about getting into solvent printing or just want to see it and kind of, get a cost analysis, that's what this is for. So definitely call us at 214-342-9290 and just talk to myself or Zach or even Steve on the team over here. We can get that set up. And if you had some curious questions of what, if you're looking to get into some kind of type of printing, you don't know how it's done, just call us and we can tell you if it's, maybe this printer or maybe something else, and how it, because we should know a lot of our customers who are doing different things out there.
And I will say, with the Solution Center here, we have the benefit of being able to print any of your test files, or if you ever want to see what a particular media type might look like, we're more than happy for that. So of course you can come into our Plano location, but with the way things are right now, we're more than happy. FaceTime, I can shoot a video and send it your way. If you want to send a file, we can ship that out to you as well. So, if you want to get your hands on the actual product before you make that investment, that's very understandable. So we can cater that for you as well.
Another thing I wanted to point out, this month in particular, the solvent printers are on a real big sale, and so we're putting up there. Just call us on a price. Epson's given us a lot of flexibility on pricing this month only. Usually there's a limit, but so we can make a real good deal this month if you've always been looking to getting one, and this might be the time to do it. So yeah, just let us know. We can work with you on pricing as well.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback off that, because I know we do a decent amount of this too. So our demo units are always an option as well. So if you want to talk to us about, we can give you print count, square footage, ink use, and all that as well. And I'll tell you, I maintain those, so I take pride in keeping them to the utmost quality. So if that is something, we'll be more than happy to get that over to you as well.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, if someone has any financing, what kind of financing things does?
Yeah. Yeah, we have a few companies that work with our customers, and they know our products, and we have it on our website. But a lot of these companies are offering 0 down, no payments for 3 months. If I say 90 months, but
I'll take it.
but anyways, but really good deals in place to kind of get you going and get you started, especially around nowadays where help is needed to kind of maybe kickstart a business or get into something of this magnitude. But so just call us and let us, what we can give you all that information if find out terms there. But really good rates go on, really good terms to kind of help people out to kind of get started and maybe grow a part of business maybe they always wanted to do, and this is like a perfect time to do it.
Absolutely. Is there any questions that you guys had for us today, or we'll put the Q&A here. I don't see anything popping up, so hopefully that means we did a decent job for you guys here.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I'm getting nothing. So yeah.
On the screen, you see our number, and there's our website. You can always email myself, Matt, M-A-T-T, at imagingspectrum.com. And if you had anything that you wanted to ask me or try to do, and whether it's Solvent or maybe the other printers we sell, we're always open dialogue here to help you out. So definitely let us know.
Hey, Paul. Hey, actually, Matt, this is a great question for us. Paul just asked, can you give a range in the pricing for the models that we've shown?
Yeah. Well.
And there's quite a few models we show in here today.
Yeah,
but I know what you mean.
Like the S-40 is a good entry level solvent printer. That if nothing that really break the bank there, and you can get that for under $10,000 for that printer. Now, most of these new units, all these new units, you do have to buy the ink. The ink is a separate purchase. But so we could just call us. We can try to give you our best price there. The S-60, would be I think around about 13, 14,000, and the S-80 is probably about 16 to 17,000 right now. So and they're really kind of at the low price point. Bulk is a little bit more, maybe around that 22, 23,000 for ADL. So it kind of ranges right now. Like I said, we've got a lot of flexibility going on this month, and it kind of depends. Maybe we can work with your budget or whatever it is, if you can combine it with something. So it really kind of, depends on, where we can price it.
One thing I want to mention to everyone here too is we are so we have a new imagingspectrum.com/training is kind of our new website. So if you want to interact and kind of see what the other options that we have here are, kind of see what best fits your needs, and we're going to be updating that frequently. So we're hopefully going to be bringing in some more of some tutorials, some things to get you up and running. But being a solution center in here, we can always, I'm more than happy to remote in or, walk you through anything. So just give us a shout and we'll make sure something happens for you.
And another thing on if you were curious about ink pricing, like solvent ink pricing, 167 for 700 milliliters. And that's I think about 23 cents around there per milliliter. But then the bulk system is around 276 for 1.5 liters of ink. So it kind of doubles up that ink, and it brings it down to about a 17 cents a milliliter range, which is pretty awesome, as far as ink savings go. If anybody was curious about that.
Oh, good point. Yeah, very good point. Any other questions, guys?
Well, we do thank you for your time, and definitely you have our number that was given there, or just email me, and yeah, we'll hopefully hear from you on that subject or anything else that you might want to know. Well, we do thank you for attending.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.